conversations you're going to be having tonight when you're coming home. How was the fair? Yeah, it was okay. What did you like the most? The dancers. Earlier on, there was a gentleman on stage, Corey. He was complaining about having to follow Siswe, right? I am after this. You have any idea how I feel right now? You're all psyched up, you all want to dance. Now I'm going to talk about snakes. I feel I'm letting you down already, and I haven't even started talking yet. Anyway, so I spoke here 3 years ago for the TEDx Lusaka about snake myths and how to dispel them. And when I came on stage, I brought a little drum with a sticker, dangerous snake inside. I use those when I catch snakes from people's homes and yards. I put them in there, and then I release them in the wild. And I asked them, how many of you get uncomfortable by seeing that drum with me here on stage? A lot of hands went up, and people in the front row, they were sitting like this. And I told them, there's no snake here. It was an empty drum, but the drum had already done its work. We have this phobia for snakes, yeah? And I understand that. I mean, we have a lot of snakes around, like the one depicted right here, black mamba, very famous, right? Puff adder, another one. Cobras, we have 6 species of cobras in Zambia. They're all dangerous snakes if you act irresponsibly around them, but not if you leave them alone, yeah? But we have these very dangerous snakes, yeah? Let's acknowledge that. Yeah? When I was asked to speak here, they said that a suggested title could be "Snakes are friendly," but they're really not, yeah? So the question then rises, why don't we just kill them all? And a lot of people do, because what do we believe? The only good snake is a dead snake, right? I understand. That's what you all think, or many people think. It's not a Zambian thing. Even in Europe and America, where you don't have that many dangerous snakes, people believe the same thing. Just kill them all, because the only good snake is a dead snake. All snakes are dangerous. We believe all snakes are dangerous, and they're all called black mamba. Yeah? Now, then snakes are evil. It says so. Our traditional cultures are depicting snakes as evil beings. And even in the Bible, it's depicted as a representative of Satan and associated with Satanism. Right? Yes. That's actually a wrong interpretation of the Bible. Genesis doesn't tell us that snakes are evil and we should kill the snakes. It's the devil disguised as a snake. And that's where the problem started. From that moment on, snakes were the evil beings. And all snakes are after us. They want to kill us. That's what we believe as well. Is it not so? Have you ever seen a cobra rearing up like this? They spread a hood. They make themselves known. It's a warning sign to us. I'm very big, I'm very bad, I'm dangerous, I can kill you, leave me alone. Would a cobra do that if they really would want to kill us? I just clicked, snakes want to kill us. And then I explained that that actually is not true. And immediately you think, hey, what else do we believe about snakes that is actually not true? And the bottom line, we're always talking about money and benefits. Snakes have no benefits. We're better off without snakes. Now, let me try to convince you today that that is not the case. Yeah? Now, my name is Marcel van Driel, as already said. You can see the logo there. I run an NGO called Helping Hands in Snake Safety. One of the things I do is giving talks like this. I lecture at UNSA. I give training in snakebite treatment to doctors. I give snake handling training. I go into communities, teach people about snakes and snake safety, and I go to schools. Yeah? Now, let's go and look at the benefits. Snakes have no benefits. If we don't see any benefits, then there's no need for conservation, is it not so? Okay, so my talk is done, right? No. Since you're there now, we've paid you, you need to do your job. I'm not being paid. So if there's the assumption that snakes have no benefit, then the automatic conclusion is there's no need to conserve them. But is that really the truth? Do snakes not have benefit? Now, you're all well-educated people, and you're all wanting, aspire to have a job in this sector, wildlife conservation, ecology, etc. So you already know this doesn't sound good, this is not correct. Now, let's have a look at snakes. They've been around for more than 100 million years. I'm not trying to let that sink in, I'm just thirsty. They've been around for more than 100 million years. So when we had dinosaurs still roaming around Earth for 35 million years, snakes were already there. And when the dinosaurs were all wiped out, snakes survived. Yeah? And that's because they are very adaptable and they're very versatile. They're very adaptable to the environment. If their environment changes, they change with it. They are everywhere on the world, except on high mountain tops and places where there's always frost. Yeah? So in the Arctic, Antarctic, you won't find them. There are also a couple of isolated islands where you don't find them. Ireland, for example, has no snakes, but the UK has, which is a bit strange. But they're very adaptable. So we find them in the desert, we find them in jungles, we find them in trees, underground, we find them in all over the tropics, we also find them in the moderate zones in Europe, we find them in mountains, and we even find species that survive in the sea, the sea snakes. And they're very versatile. They can adapt to any situation, and that's why quite often we find snakes in our homes, because with all this urbanization, we are more and more encroaching in their environment. But they don't necessarily move away. They have found opportunities there. We attract rodents. And those rodents are a very juicy meal for snakes. Yeah? So they're adaptable and very versatile. And they've been around for a long time. They're also a very important integral part of our ecosystem. Wherever they live, they're a very important part of the ecosystem they inhabit. Both as predators, which we know, they eat a lot of small animals, but also as prey. I'll focus on that a bit later. So that already beckons the question, are they worthy of conservation? And I'm already hinting at the question. The answer is, of course, yes. But what are really the benefits of snakes? We always want to see a benefit. Huh? Now here you see a forest cobra rearing up, warning me, don't get too close or I'll bite. If you leave me alone, I'll relax and I'll disappear. Now, what are those benefits? First of all, they're predator and prey. They're predator, they eat a lot of animals we generally don't really like that much, like little rodents, even cockroaches, all kind of critters like centipedes, etc. But they also prey, and that often surprises a lot of people. There are a lot of animals we actually do like, such as eagles, owls, mongooses, leopards. Leopards love to eat pythons. Yeah. There's a lot of animals we like, we appreciate, which are being supported by the conservation organizations which are around today, that actually eat snakes. So snakes are an important prey item. Yeah. Another one is they're a very important secondary seed spreader. Now what does that mean? If a little rodent, like a mouse, eats grains, seeds, and at some point those seeds have to come out again in the stool. Yeah? That comes out and then the seeds can germinate. Now if a snake eats that same mouse, at some point that snake also has to defecate. Stool comes out and in that are again the seeds. Now snakes move over a much bigger area than a rodent would. So they help the seeds of the plant to spread much further than a mouse or a rat would. Yeah? So they're even having benefits to the plants around them. But when we talk about benefit, we don't want to hear nature, we want to hear what is in it for us, right? There's a list for that as well. So the economists, if there are any around, now you need to pay attention. The benefits for humans. First of all, they're very important pest control. I hope I don't insult anybody here, but we are extremely dirty species. We litter, we have dirt lying around, we eat something, the crumbs fall, and what happens at night? The pests come out. Rats, mice, cockroaches, etc. Usually when I am asked to come into somebody's home to remove snakes, I find those snakes quite often in the kitchen, where under cupboards, etc., there's dirt lying around. That attracts pests, and the pests attract snakes. Now, snakes eating those pests is helpful for us for two main reasons. First of all, that helps us against getting diseases. Rodents, for example, spread a lot of diseases. They have diseases that can spread from rodents to humans. let's bring in mind the pest epidemic in Europe that wiped out dozens of millions of people transferred by brown rats. Yeah? There are no diseases that can jump from a snake to a human. Yeah? So they're cleaner, and they clean up the dangerous animals, the more dangerous animals for us, those that can make us sick. They also protect our physical property. Now, how does that work? Because I don't see a cobra standing guard outside your house. Yeah? So what happens is these same rodents make burrows under your foundation that damages your house. Yeah? They eat insulation material, nibble away on that. They nibble away on your cables, etc. But even more so, there are snakes that specifically feed on ants, termites, and their eggs. Now imagine what a lot of termites can do to your house if there's any wood involved there, in the foundation, in the walls, or in the roof beams. Your house would collapse, your roof would collapse because of those termites. But thank goodness there are snakes that specialize in eating termites. Yeah? There are also animals that can really harm us, like for example centipede eaters. And there's a snake called the centipede eater that only eats centipedes. It is venomous, but the venom has no effect on us. So that snake really is our friend. But because we don't know, oh, it's a black mamba, whop, kill. Yeah? And then the centipedes come, and then we complain about centipedes. Now, another very important benefit of snakes is the development of medication for human use. Cancer patients can get very powerful pain medication made out of the venom of snakes. Snake venom is used to treat neurological disorders, like Parkinson's, for example. Snake venom is also being used as a very good substance to treat and heal wounds quicker. So we already see a lot of very good advantages here. Yeah? Now, let me ask you this riddle, because now we come to something that we really see in our pockets. We all love Shima, right? Yeah. We all love Shima, right? Good, keep that in mind. Yeah. This is a talk I always give in villages. When I first ask them, what do you do if you see a snake? Oh, we kill it, of course. The Bible tells us so. They kill people, they're all black mambas, and they're dangerous. The whole riddle comes. Then I ask them this question. So imagine I take 2 mice, and I put them in a room. I close off the room, and put enough food for 1 year. There's no predators. After 1 year, how many mice will I have? That's my question to you right now. How many mice would I have? Huh? Double. Double, so 4. Who offers more? Who says 1,000? Who says 5,000? Okay, let me give you the answer. You won't believe. From 2 mice in 1 year, more than 22,000 mice. Now imagine what those mice or rats or other rodents are going to do to your maize field, to your vegetable garden, to your food storage, because you've just harvested, and before you go to the millers, rats find your maize. It's nicely stacked up, ready to go. They find your maize. And what do? They start nibbling, and while they nibble, they poo and they pee on your maize, because that's what rodents do. So your whole crop is soiled. And basically this leads to a situation where we no longer have food for ourselves. But thank goodness, here is now the savior, snakes. You wouldn't have thought that, right? Okay, snakes. Because snakes eat an enormous amount of the pests we do not like and that cause damage to us, even financially. Yeah? Now, then I can hear you already say, yeah, but you know, eagles, they also catch mice. Owls, they catch mice. Big cats, all the big cats eat mice and rats and other rodents. Right? Right. Which of those animals can follow the rats and the mice into the burrows? Snakes, only snakes. So what typically happens, if we have, for example, a big cobra, it's moving around with its tongue, trying to find where's prey. And mice smell, rats smell. They leave droppings of pee everywhere to find their to mark their trails. So they're easily found. And then that snake finds a burrow, goes inside, finds the whole family. Mommy, daddy, all the babies. They're not named yet, they're very young. Yeah? And what does that snake do? It doesn't just, let me have one. If it's a big cobra, the entire family goes inside. This entire family is gone, and our crop is protected. If there's too much food on offer, the cobra will simply be hanging around, either in that same burrow or somewhere close by. And every time it's hungry, it goes there, eats them. If they move to another burrow, they can just follow the scent trail. So snakes are extremely effective at protecting our crops. They do so at no cost. They don't charge you any money. You don't have to feed them. They take care of themselves. And they do so even at night when we are sleeping. Isn't that a good benefit of snakes? And now we understand why this guy wants to talk about snakes. So they're important pest control because they prevent transfer of diseases. They protect our property. They're used to develop medication, which is to our benefit, especially when we get old and feeble. And they protect our food, free of charge. Well, that already answers the question, what are the benefits of snakes? But on top of that, there is the much more important reason, and that is that they are an important and integral part of our ecosystem. So this question is nonsense. It's not a good question, because every organism has benefit. They're all part of the same system. So the right question is this one. How can we conserve snakes? I'm not going to give you the answer. If you want the answer, you can engage with us. Yeah, on our website, email. You can also find our stand just outside. We're at the market there in the corner. Yeah, there you find the stand, the snake guy, and the bat lady. We're both there. We're sharing a table. Thank you very much for your attention.